We are live for UFC 313 featuring Alex Pereira taking on Magomed Ankalaev in a big light heavyweight division showdown for the title. And will this be Pereira's last fight in the light heavyweight division? We'll discuss that, of course. And then in the co-main event, you got Justin Gaethje versus Rafael Fiziev in the rematch, part two, lightweight division. Never lets down, right? One of the best divisions in the UFC. And speaking of lightweights, you also got Jalen Turner and Ignacio Bahamondes throwing down. This fight comes next. Stay tuned.
Broadcasting live from an undisclosed location. This is the TCMMA podcast with your host, Chris Cross.
Whoa!
Dana White privilege.
Let's go, baby! Let's go! Let's go! Let's go! Let's go, baby!
Dana White privilege. Privilege.
Let's go. Welcome to the TCMMA podcast. It's your boy Chris Cross. We are live for UFC 313, the big three. And right now, Jalen Turner working his way into the octagon. And we are just moments away from two huge lightweight division fights. Which one's bigger? I don't know. The lightweight division is just phenomenal up and down. And you know me, I'm a big fan of Jalen Turner. Of course, I want to see him win. I got him predicted to win, but I do know that Ignacio Bahamondes is for real. Make no mistake about it. Bruce Buffer in the process of getting these two introduced. Jalen Turner, 14-8. Bahamondes from Chile, 16-5. It's USA versus Chile. Bahamondes is the favorite as well. And T-Mobile Arena is full now. I mean, it's been for the last two fights, but you can just see things are building up to the light heavyweight title fight between Pereira and Ankalaev. Nobody knows what's going to happen. I mean, nobody. Couple of finishes on this card tonight. King Green took the spinning kick from Mauricio Ruffy. That was probably the highlight of the night to start off the main card, the pay-per-view section. And then we had a long, and I mean long, 3-round fight between Lemos and Lucindo. But we finally get two lightweight fights. Best division in the UFC, the deepest division in the UFC. And we're about to see why. And Jalen Turner, ranked number 13 in the division, he's just 14-8. 14-8. I mean, I've seen guys 20-2 not ranked. So he's holding on as long as he can. And this is a big opportunity to get a win here and get an opportunity to fight up, which means you win this fight, you're maintaining your ranking for the next two fights. So here we go. Jalen Turner, Ignacio Bahamondes, full fight reaction. We're here until this thing finishes, and these guys are coming out in a hurry. Some nice leg kicks already landed by Ignacio. Both guys got a lot of bounce in their step. Tall and lanky. Both guys throwing. Woo! Nice leg kick by Ignacio. And he's switching back and forth between righty and lefty. He's trying to keep Jalen Turner off balance, but Jalen Turner's pressing. He's coming forward. He's being aggressive. And now Jalen Turner with the takedown. Wow. And he didn't really go for it. Ignacio went into him and kind of sort of lost his balance and fell backwards. And maybe that's what he wanted. Now he's got a full guard on Turner, who's on top. Ignacio has his back to the mat. First minute gone. And you know, these lightweight fights got everything. I mean, you got striking, grappling, takedown defense, all that. Now Turner pounding away with some elbows, now a hammer and a left. Now he's looking for the triangle. He's not going to be able to get it. Lands a right elbow. And it's Ignacio from his back landing some elbows. Now Turner back in control. And Jalen Turner climbed to as high as what, 5, 6, 7, somewhere around there in the lightweight division. And has struggled a little bit as of late. Obviously, he's down to number 13. But the guy is very capable of making a run at any time. I mean, but this is a fight that he has to win. No doubt about it. And he's looking aggressive so far. Look out for this armbar. Uh-oh. We got a triangle now. Oh, boy. Jalen stuck in a triangle. I don't think he took it serious. And now he's in trouble, man. And he taps. Wow, dude. Come on, man. Ignacio Bahamondes finishes Jalen Turner, who looked like he didn't really take the position that serious. And then you seen his eyes open. He realized, oh, boy, this is not good. And Ignacio Bahamondes finishes Jalen Turner. He's going to move to 17-5, just like that. And what that'll do is get him into the rankings for the first time. He'll be in the top 15. And that's a rough loss for Jalen Turner. The Tarantula falls here in a huge lightweight division fight at UFC 313. Yeah, so that's the way it goes down, man. Submission win for Ignacio. And it happened fast. I mean, it happened real fast. And as we get a look at the replay, and it just seemed to me like Ignacio was willing to go to the ground too easily. It's like he knew something, right? It's like he knew that he would be in good position here. And he had the advantage on the ground, and it paid off. Whether that's what he had planned or not, it looked like he had it planned. And that's the way the chips fall. So when we come back, another lightweight division fight, and you'll see the prediction during the break. Justin Gaethje versus Rafael Fiziev. Stay tuned. We'll be right back after this. You asked, and we delivered. The TCMMA merch shop is now live.
Yes!
And we got all different types of products, including hats, t-shirts, hoodies, and if you drink coffee, we got coffee mugs too. You better believe it. But what's trending right now is the new Brazil shirts. Don't invite Brazil to the party, because if you do, Brazil is going to win 9 times out of 10 and wreck the party, especially in MMA. That's for sure. These products will help grow the show. So if you support the show, get you a product, a t-shirt, a hat, a hoodie, or something along those lines. This your boy, Chris Cross. Now, Dricus du Plessis versus Khamzat Chimaev reportedly in the works for UFC 318. And guess what? It will be in the United States. So we're trying to stay away from politics when we get into fighting, but it keeps crossing paths because, as we said before, how is Khamzat getting in the country with no visa? Well, guess what? Dana White is friends with Trump. And there was a reason that Khamzat wasn't allowed in the country. It's straight political, right? Because he had someone that he associated with or was friends with someone, so now he can't come in the country and you're fighting for the UFC. I mean, it's crazy. But that's what was going on. So, and this is probably, unfortunately for us as fans, the reason we haven't seen Khamzat fight for the title in the last 4 years, even though we all know that he should be fighting for the title. The UFC wants to get him in the country because, you have a huge fan base in the USA. This is a lot of times where the biggest fights in the world take place. Yeah, they go overseas to Saudi Arabia and London and different places, but they only go overseas once or twice a year, roughly, for a pay-per-view event. Why? Because the time zones are different. You're still going to have the main card kick off at 10 p.m. here, even if it's 3 or 4 or 6 a.m. somewhere else, right? So it's just easier to do in the United States, and it's easier if you can get Hamza there because this thing is going to sell huge because people believe, including myself, that Hamza Chimaev is the future. That's just the bottom line. So we want Hamza. I want Hamza to win the belt in the USA, and I think that's what's going to happen. So 318, we're looking at July. So to all my friends and family, I've been waiting for this for 5 years. This is like the next level of Conor McGregor for me, right? Conor McGregor was always my favorite fighter. Now it's Hamza, especially since we haven't seen McGregor in a while, and he's never probably going to be at the height again. Hamza is my guy, and whatever night he fights on, I'm busy that night. That's the bottom line. I'm going to be busy. I'm going to be watching that fight, and it's going to be like the last few. It's going to just be crazy, especially if he wins. I mean, it's like the Super Bowl. I mean, every other fight's like the playoffs. This will be like the Super Bowl. Please believe it. And I cannot wait for this thing to go down. Now, let's jump into the Q&A. It's been a little while. We had to get back to it. No better time than pay-per-view week. Got Jacqueline Robinson talking about Volkanovski and Diego Lopez, saying, I keep telling people Diego is too fast for Volk. The boy can rumble. And yeah, I think so too. I think Volk is done. I think the KOs against Islam and then against Ilia Topuria, it just messed him up. Now, this is a step up for Diego Lopez, but I think he can get the job done here. This is also a chance for Volk to get the belt back, so he'll be at his best too. Looking forward to that one. In Miami, baby. Yes, sir. Now, UFC 315, Hernan Miela saying Michael Morales, Gilbert Burns, excellent fight. Michael Morales has 12 victories by KO. He is a machine. Yeah. And that's a big card. I mean, you got that fight. You got Bilal Muhammad versus Jack Della Maddalena for the welterweight title. What happened to Shavkat? That's another question everybody wants to know, right? Shavkat getting passed up. Now, of course, the word is he's injured and couldn't take the fight, but they could have waited on him. But the bottom line is that's still a big card at 315. Now, in terms of Hamza versus Duplessis, EP man saying, I think Hamza needs to focus on his ground and pound in round one like he did in his first two fights in the UFC. Make every ground punch count, and every one needs to be thrown with the intention to win. After DDP gets injured, he will expose himself like everyone else. And I'm with you, EP. You're speaking my language. And of course, this had a lot of back and forth. Urban Legend saying, problem is Hamza's only chance is wrestling. DDP will cause him problems on the feet. At least that's what people believe. EP man weighs in, says that's why you Urban Legend. Whatever comes from you, you're just an urban legend. Why would Hamza have a problem if he gets the takedown? And see, that's the thing is, can anyone stop Hamza from getting a takedown? And then another weighs in. Well, then Dreykus' only chance is on the feet too. Urban Legend weighs back in, but Hamza has 5-minute window. DDP has 25 minutes. Okay, so that's the best point being made, is if this fight gets out of the first round, then what? Right? Because we've seen Hamza struggle after the first round, but he's got a new trainer, new manager, all that, and I think that that's going to change in this fight if it does in fact go that far. Urban Legend says, but DDP will go after Hamza for 5 rounds, whereas Hamza won't be able to wrestle at all in round 3, and that's where the fight could really open up. Shanafori DDP isn't everyone else. See, and that's the thing is, yeah, DDP isn't everybody else, but he's still going down against Hamza. We had a little switch up. We got Justin Gaethje versus Rafael Fiziev. And listen, another lightweight fight, co-main event. This is a fight that people want to see. Please believe it. Both these guys coming in off a loss. I know you remember Holloway landing the big KO over Gaethje. This is what it sounded like at the time. Final 13 seconds of this fight. What an incredible fight here. We're in the final. There's a tap. There's a tap. Oh, look at Max. He's saying they're standing right in the middle. He don't care. Look at this.
He drops Gaethje with 1 second left. Max Holloway finishes Gaethje with 1 second left, bro. This will go down as the most epic performance in UFC history. I'm telling you right now. Holy crap. Not only is this stunning because he's not expected to win, but he finishes Gaethje with 1 second and says, come forward. Like, he's winning the fight. All he's got to do is run away, okay? He's saying, come to the middle, come to the middle. And then whop, 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 boom. Gaethje goes right down. And I don't even know if the ref had time to stop it because it was at 1 second, but it was clearly like Gaethje's out. You got to give him the KO.
Yeah, so one of the most epic fights you'll ever see. And at UFC 300. I mean, crazy. But Gaethje lost that fight. Now, Fiziev also lost, right? Against Mateusz Gamrot. This is how this one sounded at the time.
Gamrot's got Fiziev pinned up against the fence. 3:20 left. Round 2. Good fight so far. Not a lot of control time. A little bit of clinch time by Mateusz. But he still trails in significant strikes. Even though he leads in head strikes. 11-4. Fiziev comes forward. Oh, and Fiziev looked like he hurt his right leg. Oh, he goes down. And Gamrot pounds away, and that's it. It's over. And, man, what a way to finish this fight, man. Rafael Fiziev did something to his left knee or foot. It's hard to tell. He just lays on his back. And he landed a kick. You heard it. Whop. And as soon as he landed that kick, he went back, stepped on his leg, and went down. And Mateusz Gamrot don't care. He's celebrating like this is a big win. As he probably should. I mean, it's a big fight either way. But the bottom line is you don't want to win that way.
So it wasn't a normal KO loss, right? I mean, it was a TKO because of the injury. So, it took him some time to get back. He's back, and we get the big rematch with him and Gaethje, which was just a great fight the first time. 103-97 in significant strikes. So without further ado, let's jump into the prediction right now. In the lightweight division, your co-main event at UFC 313. You got Justin Gaethje now taking on latecomer Rafael Fiziev. So all of a sudden, Dan the Hangman Hooker is out. Fiziev is in. I know you guys have heard about this. Gaethje 25-5. Fiziev 12-3. And suddenly the odds are even. Gaethje 3 inches taller, 5'11". He's 36, getting older. Fiziev right in the prime at 31 with something to prove. He's got a 2-inch reach advantage. He's a switch stance fighter. Gaethje fights right-handed. Now, in terms of activity, that leans towards Gaethje. 6.8 significant strikes per minute to 4.9 for Fiziev, and neither guy likes to land takedowns. So this is going to be a stand-up striking affair. Now, Gaethje, remember last time out he got KO'd by Max Holloway. He's still reeling from that. But he did beat Dustin Poirier by KO, and he beat Rafael Fiziev by majority decision. But it was a great fight, right? He had one takedown in the fight, no big deal, but it was 103-97 in significant strikes, very close fight. And you would expect this one to be very close as well. Now, since that Gaethje fight, Fiziev came back and got KO'd by Mateusz Gamrot. So that really hurt. So you really don't know what to expect here. I mean, I would think that Fiziev would have learned from that Gaethje loss, right? But then he comes back and gets KO'd by Gamrot. So you're thinking, okay, he should be getting better, but 2 losses in a row and and then getting KO'd in the second round. But on the flip side, Gaethje also got KO'd. So it's going to be an interesting fight. I could see why they set this up. Obviously, someone's got to prevail. I think a lot of people think that Fiziev will get over the top this time, but I really think Gaethje has something to prove. I mean, he let Max Holloway come up from the featherweight division and land a KO. He's not going out like that. Gaethje's going to come in here with even more to prove than Fiziev. Fiziev just has something to prove in a sense. He wants to get on the scene and start, getting better and beating guys like Mateusz Gamrot and beating others, especially like Gaethje. But Gaethje's not going to let it happen, right? His days might be numbered, or at least years, but not in this fight. I like Gaethje to win again by very, very close decision. In this case, to move to 26-5. That's my opinion, but it's going to be very close. It's going to be like 145 significant strikes to like 130. So it's going to come down to round by round, and Gaethje wins 3 out of 5, in my opinion here. Lightweight division co-main event at UFC 313. Yeah, and it will be interesting just based off of how both guys finished their last fight. Gaethje getting KO'd by Holloway, Fiziev coming off the injury. You're always hesitant when you're coming off an injury. And Gaethje's not the guy you want to be hesitant against. So I look forward to this being a great fight. But Justin Gaethje has got to get the win.
You're watching the TCMMA podcast. And now, back to your host, Chris Cross.
Welcome back to the TCMMA podcast. I'm your host, Chris Cross. And we got 2 fights left on this card. And another lightweight banger, right? Another lightweight banger. Actually a rematch. Justin Gaethje versus Rafael Fiziev. And as you heard in the prediction, the first fight was ridiculous. Now, it did go to a decision. Sometimes we see decisions we're like, but it was 103-97 in significant strikes. And if I remember correctly, no takedowns in that fight, or maybe one, but mostly as a stand-up striking affair. We hope we get that again, but to go even further, we would love to see a finish. I mean, I would absolutely love to see a finish in this fight. But anytime you get a lightweight fight, gotta love it. I mean, you just gotta love it. I mean, these are 2 guys that are very capable of getting back in the mix,
and we delivered.
And fighting for a title, right? Both these guys are capable of getting back in the mix, fighting for a title, but it starts now. They got to get a win. Gaethje hasn't fought since the loss to Max Holloway, I believe, at UFC 300. I mean, I know it's at UFC 300, but it's hard to believe that he hasn't fought in that long. But that's the way it is. So right now, Fiziev getting checked in, then Gaethje will make his way to the octagon, and this fight will be on and popping. While you're listening, get involved in the chat room. Leave us some comments. We'll get to those prior to the Pereira fight, and we'll try to get to them throughout this fight as well. So do us that favor. We'd love when you comment, and we'd love to react to it. So get involved. All right, Fiziev's in the octagon. Now Justin Gaethje will make the walk. And Justin Gaethje, always a crowd favorite. I mean, when this guy gets in the octagon, big things happen. You remember the big KO against Dustin Poirier, right? He's riding high. Things are looking great. And then, boom, he gets KO'd by Max Holloway with 1 second left in the 5th round. I mean, it was absolutely ridiculous. And that's always a concern when you're coming back from a KO. Now, it's been a year, but still, there's always that concern. And there's Gaethje. He's on the video in the arena. The crowd erupts. He's got the American flag draped around the shoulders. And of course, the crowd will be with him here for sure. And this is just a guy that's always in the mix. I mean, he's been close. He just can't get over the top. But I'm not going to say he's done yet, right? I'm going to say he still has an opportunity to get to the back to the top, maybe fight for a title one day. But again, in this division, you don't have much time. And him and Dustin Poirier for a while, for like a year, 2 years, or a year and a half, 2 years, it was like every time they had the fight down, they won. They maintained their spots. And really, Max Holloway broke that wide open. Maybe the time off has done him well. You know, he was supposed to fight Dan Hooker here. Dan Hooker had to pull out. Then Fiziev steps in. You've already beat him. So what's the motivation level coming into this fight? I mean, you might not think it's a lot. It's like, okay, I got to beat someone I already beat. But it was a very close fight. And for Justin Gaethje at number 3 in the lightweight division, the deepest division in all the UFC and really the MMA world as a whole. I mean, this division is so deep that every fight, you just don't know what's going to happen. Two big fights in this card already. Ignacio Bahamondes got the victory over Jalen Turner. And all these going down in the main card, Mauricio Ruffy, spinning back kick, KO'd King Green. So this is the third fight in the main card at UFC 313 that's a lightweight division fight. If that doesn't tell you how big this division is, what else does? And the officials trying to hold Gaethje back, but him and Fiziev are cool. Slapping high fives before the fight. Now Fiziev, number 11, Gaethje, number 3. And huge opportunity for Fiziev, right? Stepping in on short notice. Of course, Gaethje's been training for this, for a fight at UFC 313, so he's not going to give up fighting, right? I mean, that's a paycheck. Despite Dan Hooker having to pull out, Gaethje's fighting. And believe it or not, Fiziev at 11 is the favorite. Let's go, Justin. I need this, baby. I need this. And I believe we're 5-3 on the night, so things could go sideways real quick, man. This could be terrible if we lose all the big 3 coming in at 5-2 on the night here. Losing Jalen Turner, going down to 5-3. We'll look at those picks here in between fights, but we need this one to secure a winning night, and then we definitely need Pereira to win to get us back in the win column after 3 straight main event miss picks, right? We've got 3 wrong in a row, and it happens. You go, momentum is everything with these picks, so we definitely need Pereira to win tonight. But first, we got to have Justin Gaethje win, and as tough as the first fight was, I have a feeling this fight's going to be even tougher. And T-Mobile is packed, absolutely packed. Gaethje 25-5, 5'11", fighting out of Denver, Colorado. Oh baby. Oh baby. I just can't see him losing this fight. I just can't see it. Like how they call it the BMF champion. Islam says that's not a real belt. I got the real belt, baby. Islam versus Topuri, is that coming up? We'll see. All right, so here we go. The full fight reaction. Justin Gaethje, Rafael Fiziev, we're with you until this fight comes to an end. What's the chances we get 3 straight first-round finishes tonight? Well, we already got 1. And that's how the lightweight division rolls. There's no easy rounds here. And I could not remember if this was a 3-round or 5-round fight. Well, it is in fact a 3-round fight. Him and Hooker, I believe, would have been 5. So smart decision by Fiziev to get it down to 3 rounds, especially if you're coming in on late and short notice. First 30 seconds gone, guys, feeling each other out. Crowd chant Gaethje, so they're going to get behind the American big time here. And the way things are going around the country right now, American pride is very high, so you can expect that to roll into these fights big time, especially when this is the last American on the card. And right now, Fiziev on top. Gaethje's going to stand up. He takes a knee on the way up. Big knee, another big knee, and he punches his way out. Now Fiziev comes in, gets the takedown. He flips around. Now it's Gaethje going to wind up on top. They're battling here. Oh, boy. And a reverse triangle. Look at this. And Gaethje's stuck here. Oh, this is terrible. Oh, my goodness. I don't think I've seen this before. Gaethje's head is stuck in between the legs of Fiziev, and he cannot get out here. And Fiziev can just pound away here. And unbelievable. This is a bad position for Gaethje to be in. And wow, he works out of it. Unbelievable. Way to get out of that, Justin Gaethje, because that was straight trouble. Both guys back to the feet now, center of the octagon. Fans chant USA. And, I want Justin Gaethje to win, but more so I want to see someone just land something big and finish the fight. That's just how I feel about it. I want to see some action. Fiziev coming in with the left jab, and he backs off Gaethje. 2:40 left, round number 1. And it's just something about the lightweight division. It just gets you excited. It just gets you excited. Something big is going to happen in these fights. You got every aspect of the fight, from striking to the ground game and grappling to takedown defense. All that is on full display in these fights. Make no mistake about it. Right now, 8-4 in significant strikes for Rafael Fiziev. He's looking good in the early going. But both guys still, it's round 1. It's not, obviously you can't go down 1-0 in round 1. I mean, you got to come out of this and win the round. So this last 2 minutes is going to be very intriguing to see how this plays out. But if you're Justin Gaethje, you got to pick up the pace here. I mean, you absolutely have to pick up the pace. If Fiziev slips, he gets back to his feet. And Gaethje lands a big right. Look out. That definitely gives Gaethje some momentum here. Now Fiziev's backing off. He didn't like that at all. Gaethje comes in for the takedown. He has a leg. He lost it. And then Fiziev lands a big left and puts his arms up and says, like, what's up? And he lands another left. And this rematch picking up right where it left off. Both guys touch gloves and smile, and they already know what time it is. You already know these guys are going to strike, and things are only going to pick up here as time goes on. Both guys in the corner right now. And if you're Fiziev's corner, you got to be thinking, not a bad start, right? Not a bad start whatsoever. You might have even snuck that round. It's very close. I mean, he's definitely they're a little bit behind in the stats right now, which happens from time to time, but he's definitely up in significant strikes. So, and spent some time in control. So all those things are important when you're looking at a potential decision victory. If you're Gaethje's corner, you just got to say, hey, you got to pick up the pace here. I mean, it's a short fight. You can't be messing around with this guy. You got to pick up the pace and get things going. Or you potentially lose a decision, and you can't have it. And here we go with round number 2. Both guys getting off to a little bit quicker of a start here. A little bit more action to begin round number 2. And as close as these fights are, you got to be thinking, if you're both guys, you can't get caught, right? You cannot get caught. So you also got to be careful. Now Gaethje comes in with a big left, and Fiziev takes off. And he's going to back off here. And Gaethje coming forward. And a nice combo there by Gaethje. Now Gaethje takes a left leg to the body. Now we're going to say low blow. And Fiziev doesn't like it. He says it's in the belly. So we'll get the replay, of course, but now Gaethje trying to walk it off. No replay just yet. 15 seconds into the break, early in round 2. Here comes a replay. Ugh. It's close. And in all of these situations, it's like it brushes up across it and then hits the stomach. So, I mean, very close. But nonetheless, we're back in action here. 1 minute gone, round 2. And things are definitely starting to heat up here. Fiziev with a nice left-right combination now, right to the body. And Gaethje does not like those punches to the body. That's clear. And he's got to find a way to, stick and move. Because all that Fiziev is doing is countering that right hand. Gaethje lands a big right. It's hard to counter when you get hit, right? And Gaethje at 5'11" is punching down on Fiziev. Oh. Okay, boys. Okay, boys. Let's go, Gaethje. Come on, baby. Come on. Boom. Big left leg by Fiziev. Gaethje saying, come on. Oh, boy. Get out of there, Gaethje. Come on. When these guys are in close quarters, holding nothing back. Nice left leg kick. Straight leg. Ooh, by Fiziev. He barely misses. Now lands a right. Oh, boy. Now Gaethje lands a right. Crowd's loving this. A lot like the first fight. Now Gaethje with another right. Crowd oohing and ahhing on every hit. Gotta love it. 2 minutes left. Round 2. USA. USA. Let's go. Come on, Justin. Come on. Boy, and Fiziev is landing some knees to the body and some left leg kicks for sure. Now Gaethje feints and then backs off. Gaethje now the favorite. That ought to tell you that he's winning this fight, at least right now. Oh, nice left knee by Fiziev. Come on. Oh, Gaethje, finish him with the big left. Come on, Gaethje, finish him, baby. Come on now. Dang. Come on, keep pounding now. Dang it. Crowd's going crazy. Fiziev on his knees, Gaethje on his back. Things have slowed down for a second, but he definitely was near a finish on Fiziev. Crowd's loving this. Oh, and Gaethje's going for the submission. I don't think he's got it, though. Come on. Look at that replay. Beam. Okay. And now Fiziev stands up, but this might be okay for Gaethje. You kind of want him up. And really should have let him right back up immediately, probably. Nice left leg kick by Fiziev. There's a tap. Yeah, and Fiziev's going to back off here. He needs a rest. Oh. Yeah, boy. Yeah, Gaethje. Come on, baby. See, there's replay. Wow. So he sidestepped the uppercut, grabbed the back of the head, and then unbelievable. They almost banged heads too. Beam. Woo. Ooh, wee. Love it. And Fiziev looking rough in the corner. Now, at the same time, Fiziev probably won round one. You're looking at 37-29 in significant strikes for Gaethje. He led 29-13 in that round, 16-8 Fiziev the other way. And Gaethje's pumping his fist, telling everyone to get up, make some noise. And that's exactly what they're doing. Let's go, boys. Let's go, boys. Both guys touch gloves. Here we go, round three. These guys got to be careful. They're about to clash heads. And a nice right by Gaethje. Boy, Gaethje looks sharp here in round three. Ooh, spinning back kick by Fiziev. First 30 seconds gone, and these guys are wasting no time in round three. Whoever wins this round likely wins the fight, but maybe Gaethje gets a 10-8. We'll see. I wouldn't give it a 10-8, but with that big knockdown and flurry the final minute, you never know. But based on the numbers, it wasn't a 10-8. Oh! Fiziev with the nice upper. But it doesn't phase Gaethje. I mean, he takes punches. We've seen it against Holloway. He continues coming forward, which is why that was such a great fight. And a nice right by Fiziev, followed by a right by Gaethje, and now a left leg kick by Fiziev. Oh my goodness. Unbelievable. Oh, nice left, Gaethje. Come on. Come on. These guys are putting on a show, no doubt. 3:20 left. Nice right leg kick by Gaethje. He slips, but recovers. Back to the center. Yes, come on, Gaethje. Come on. Now Fiziev ties him up. So Fiziev might be getting a little tired here. If you're Gaethje, you got to pour it on. Remember, down the stretch here, Gaethje was preparing for this fight, was preparing for a fight. Fiziev taking this fight on like a week or two notice. Sometimes that's good, sometimes it's bad. Lightweight division, I say it's bad. Big right by Gaethje. Gaethje pouring it on a little bit now. Both guys tied up, 2:20 left in the fight. Nice right leg kick by Gaethje on the way out. And Gaethje's only been to 2 decisions in his career. One was against Fiziev. So give credit to Fiziev. I mean, he's a tough fighter. Gaethje's trying to finish a fight one way or another, whether he's the finisher or he's the one that gets finished. That's just how he fights. Gaethje jumping up to a 230 favorite. But I'll tell you what, this round is close. Right now, give it to Gaethje. Big right there by Gaethje. Oh, nice right. Come on, Justin, keep pushing forward now. Oh, significant strikes this round. 54-14 Gaethje. It does not seem that way. Oh, my goodness. Yeah, Justin's marching to a victory here. If he can maintain this in this round. And man, the pace of Justin is ridiculous. And that'll be the story down the stretch here. You know, Gaethje is in shape. He's prepared for this fight. He was training for this fight for months, right? And you can see here down the last few minutes. I mean, and it's crazy that the last few months come down to the last few minutes. But you can see his cardio is ridiculous. As you heard the numbers in this round, 54-14 about 30 seconds ago. And now Gaethje's tying up Fiziev against the fence, final 30 seconds. Oh, and see that those numbers were skewed. All right. It's 32-31 Gaethje in this round. All right. So why did they put that other stat up? I don't know. All right, so this round's very close as I thought it was. That makes a heck of a lot more sense. Oh, big right leg kick by Gaethje. Under 20 seconds now. These guys are going at it. Looking a lot like Holloway and Gaethje down the stretch. Gaethje wants a second chance at this, right? Final 7 seconds. Here they go. And they're in the center and they're swinging. Oh, boy. Oh, boy. Wow. What a fight. Both guys touch gloves. Fiziev shakes his head. And, man, I bet the people wish that was a 5-round fight. Gaethje puts his hand in the air, but it's going to be very, very close. Very, very close. And the optics, like looking at the fight, I would say Justin won the fight. But the numbers would indicate that it's very close. You can give Fiziev round 1. Gaethje probably got rounds 2 and 3. But when he had that reverse triangle in round 1, Gaethje's lucky he didn't get finished. Round 2, Gaethje comes back, landing the big knockdown, nearly finishing the fight. See that? Duck the upper, boom, lands the upper. Wow. Wow. And you never know, but if Gaethje doesn't let him back up, or if Gaethje lets him back up after he dropped him, maybe he gets the finish. Because it ended up going to the ground for a minute, and it gave Fiziev time to get his bearings back. And then he got to the end of the round pretty quickly thereafter, so. Heck of a fight. It's going to be close. This decision is going to be close. All right, here we go. Both guys get ready to come to the center of the octagon. We're going to get this result right now. Could it be a split? Could it be a split decision? Here we go. Come on, give it to Justin. Give it to Justin. Come on, Bruce. Give it to us, baby. Unanimous. It's got to be. Come on. Yes! Come on, baby. Come on. That's what I'm talking about. 6 and 3 on the night. All we need is Pereira to come through. And both guys talking it out now. But that's a huge win for Justin Gaethje. Give him credit. He had to worry about a different opponent and all those type of things, but he trained for a fight and he looked like it. And he gets a big win here in the lightweight division, your co-main event at UFC 313. All right, so that's the way it goes down. Stay tuned. We're coming right back for Pereira versus Ankalaev. Let's get to the prediction right now. You asked, and we delivered. The TCMMA merch shop is now live. Yes! And we got all different types of products, including hats, t-shirts, hoodies, and if you drink coffee, We got coffee mugs too. You better believe it. But what's trending right now is the new Brazil shirts. Don't invite Brazil to the party, because if you do, Brazil is going to win 9 times out of 10 and wreck the party, especially in MMA. That's for sure. These products will help grow the show. So if you support the show, get you a product, a t-shirt, a hat, a hoodie, or something along those lines. This your boy, Chris Cross. Now let's jump into the Q&A. It's been a little while. We had to get back to it. No better time than pay-per-view week. Got Jacqueline Robinson talking about Volkanovski and Diego Lopez, saying, I keep telling people Diego is too fast for Volk. The boy can rumble. And yeah, I think so too. I think Volk is done. I think the KOs against Islam and then against Ilia Topuria, it just messed him up. Now, this is a step up for Diego Lopez, but I think he can get the job done here. This is also a chance for Volk to get the belt back, so he'll be at his best too. Looking forward to that one. In Miami, baby. Yes, sir. Now, UFC 315, Hernan Mielis saying Michael Morales, Gilbert Burns, excellent fight. Michael Morales has 12 victories by KO. He is a machine. Yeah. And that's a big card. I mean, you got that fight. You got Bilal Muhammad versus Jack Della Maddalena for the welterweight title. What happened to Shavkat? That's another question everybody wants to know, right? Shavkat getting passed up. Now, of course, the word is he's injured and couldn't take the fight, but they could have waited on him. But the bottom line is it's still a big card at 315. Now, in terms of Hamza versus Duplessis, EP man saying, I think Hamza needs to focus on his ground and pound in round 1 like he did in his first 2 fights in the UFC. Make every ground punch count, and every one needs to be thrown with the intention to win. After DDP gets injured, he will expose himself like everyone else. And I'm with you, EP. You're speaking my language. And of course, it's had a lot of back and forth. Urban Legend saying, problem is Hamza's only chance is wrestling. DDP will cause him problems on the feet. At least that's what people believe. EP man weighs in, says that's why you Urban Legend. Whatever comes from you, you're just an urban legend. Why would Hamza have a problem if he gets the takedown? And see, that's the thing is, can anyone stop Hamza from getting a takedown? And then another weighs in. Well, then Dreykus' only chance is on the feet too. Urban Legend weighs back in, but Hamza has 5-minute window. DDP has 25 minutes. Okay, so that's the best point being made, is if this fight gets out of the first round, then what? Right? Because we've seen Hamza struggle after the first round, but he's got a new trainer, new manager, all that, and I think that that's going to change in this fight, if it does in fact go that far. Urban Legend says, but DDP will go after Hamza for 5 rounds, whereas Hamza won't be able to wrestle at all in round 3. And that's where the fight could really open up. Shanafori, DDP isn't everyone else. See, and that's the thing is, yeah, DDP isn't everybody else, but he's still going down against Hamza. DDP is a big dude, though, right, who can hold his own on the ground. But it just appears that Hamza is just dominant on the ground and that nobody has a chance on the ground against him. But DDP is a big dude, solid shoulders, and you will believe if anyone can hang with Hamza, it would be DDP. So if Hamza gets in there and just runs through him, he's going to not only win the belt, which is going to cause me to jump through the roof, but he'll hold the belt for a long time and then start to look up at the light heavyweight division. That's why I want this fight to happen quick, because I want Alex Pereira I want to see Hamza versus Alex Pereira. But they're not just going to let, if I'm Hamza, I win the middleweight belt, boom, I let it go just like Ilya. I go right to light heavyweight. Let's not wait till we're 35, 36. Let's start doing this thing when we're 31, 32, still in the middle of the prime, and let's get the job done. But that's the way I see this thing going. Listen, big week ahead. Feel free to weigh in the comment section. We'll we'll put you up on the Q&A and respond. So make sure you comment on this video. Let me know what you think about all these picks, as well as Hamza versus Duplessis, as well as the FBI and UFC collaborating. So all these things are happening, man. Let me know what you think. Then in the next one, Alex Pereira, Fighter of the Year, last year in 2024, fighting 3 times, winning all 3 by finish. And his stock is as high as you can go right now. It's just as high as you can go. And Khalil Roundtree put up a good fight last time out, but he couldn't get the win. But Khalil put up a good fight, and Pereira just continued to pound away until he got the victory. Check this out.
Pereira's just a beast. Oh, this might be it. Alex Pereira, open it up now. This could be the beginning of the end. I'll tell you what, Khalil has heart, man. Khalil has heart, but he's like 1 punch away from going down. There's a right. There's a body shot, and that's going to probably be it. Khalil goes down, and that's it. And Pereira tries to go in for more. He gets pulled off by the ref, and Alex Pereira retains the belt. But dang, I'll tell you what, the story of the night is Khalil Roundtree, too. Alex Pereira is a ridiculous champ. Oh my goodness gracious. Alex Pereira is ridiculous, man. He's going to move to 12-2. And he withstood a barrage from Khalil Roundtree, right? He withstood it. And just over time broke him down. But Khalil Roundtree has tremendous heart. Tomorrow, or whenever the rankings come out, Khalil Roundtree should be 3 or 4. But that's not how it works. It's crazy. Unbelievable. So listen, that's a wrap, man. Alex Pereira retains the belt, KOs Khalil Roundtree. Basically KOs him into submission with 27 seconds left in round 4. But Khalil Roundtree held in there for nearly 20 minutes with one of the baddest dudes on the planet. And had chances in rounds 2 and 3, but couldn't get the job done. So Alex Pereira wins, 12-2. Still champion, baby. Light heavyweight division. UFC 307.
And the most impressive thing is not even Khalil's effort that night, which was crazy, but it's just that Pereira's only 12-2. This is only his 15th fight. Everything he's accomplished in under 15 fights is ridiculous. But in comes Magomed Ankalaev, a guy that a lot of people want to see. And he doesn't get KOs often, but he did here against Johnny Walker. Check this out.
Now Magomed continues to come forward, lands a leg kick, and Johnny Walker stuck working around the outside of the octagon. Magomed really controlling the center in this fight. Johnny takes a left leg kick. Oh, big right by Magomed. Johnny Walker covers up, and that's it. Whoa. Magomed Ankalaev gets the win. And finally, in the second fight, Magomed Ankalaev gets the finish. And guess what? He had the win streak going. It had 2 fights not really go his way, but he didn't lose them, right? So his unbeaten streak continues. This guy's now 18-1, and he landed a big shot on Johnny Walker to get the win, man. He's going to maintain or hold serve, I like to say. He's the better and higher contender in this situation. So he holds serve. He moves to 18-1 here, light heavyweight division, UFC Vegas 84.
Yeah, in that fight, the KO against Johnny Walker helped get him back on track. He needed a finish, right? You had the thing against Blachowicz where they fought to a draw when he could have won the belt, and the UFC made him wait for a while. Alex Pereira made him wait for a while. But finally, we get this fight, and again, it's one that everybody wants to see because we have to know. This is the last guy standing before Pereira can say, hey, I've cleaned out the division. It's time to let me fight John Jones or Tom Aspinall. But can he do it? I'm not so sure. Let's get into the pick right now. In the light heavyweight division for the light heavyweight division title, it's finally official. You got Alex Pereira, current champ, 12-2. It's hard to believe he only has 14 fights. Taking on Magomed Ankalaev, the big Russian. He's 20-1. So he deserves a title shot, and he finally gets it. Now, Pereira 1 inch taller at 6'4", he's 37. Ankalaev just 32, so he's right in the prime. Pereira 4-inch reach advantage. Both guys stand right-handed. Pereira 5.5 significant strikes per minute at 3.6 for Ankalaev. And neither guy really lands a lot of takedowns, but Ankalaev can get like one over the course of 3 rounds. So maybe he gets 2 in this fight. But Pereira 70% takedown defense. That's above average. And he's just been dominant over the last 5 fights in the light heavyweight division, taking down Jan Blachowicz by split decision. More to come on that particular opponent. Yuri Prochazka, KO. Jamal Hill, KO. Yuri, KO. Khalil Roundtree Jr., KO. So 4 straight KOs over the last 4 fights, and he's just at his height right now. Ankalaev beat Rakic by decision. Johnny Walker, KO. Now, Jan Blachowicz, who they both have a common opponent, he lost. Actually, no, it was a draw that he fought Jan Blachowicz to a split draw. And basically, that took away his opportunity there to win the belt. If he'd have been a little more aggressive, he probably would have beat Jan Blachowicz. Probably beat him anyway. It was 78-55 in significant strikes, 2-0 in takedowns, but a very boring fight to watch at that time. And you remember Dana White wasn't happy. So very close against a common opponent. So there's a reason to believe that this fight is going to be very close. But I got to lean towards Alex Pereira. I mean, the guy's the current champ. He lands 5.5 significant strikes per minute. He tends to lower the numbers of his opponents. I think Ankalaev is going to have to take this fight to the ground, and he probably will once or twice. But remember, Pereira is Brazilian, so he has some ground game if necessary. But his kickboxing style really messes with his opponents. Again, brings down their numbers, so I have no reason to believe that Pereira will fall here. I like him to win, probably by decision. I think it goes all the way, if I had to guess. But Pereira wins on the feet, defending takedowns. Maybe he gives up 1 or 2, but he dominates on the feet to move to 13-2 and retain the belt here. Light heavyweight division, UFC 313. Yeah, and I'm not going against Alex Pereira. Listen, he's number 3 on our dude list for a reason. I mean, this is a bad dude, and I'm going to have to see it to believe it, right? I'm going to have to see it to believe it. And right now, I'm not believing that Ankalaev could beat Alex Pereira. So I got no choice but to go with the Brazilian. And I have no problem going with the Brazilian. You know me. So look for Alex Pereira to dominate here and get the job done and end all the talks. It's as simple as that.
You're watching the TCMMA podcast. And now, back to your host, Chris Cross.
Welcome back to the TCMMA podcast. I'm your host, Chris Cross, and it's that time, baby, to fight we have been waiting for like over a year, right? We've heard the stories. Magomed Ankalaev is not good enough to fight Alex Pereira, right? That's what we've heard. He's not good enough. Well, he finally gets the opportunity. And not only does he get the opportunity, he battled his way back after the draw against Jan Blachowicz years ago. He's won ever since. A couple of decisions, the KO of Johnny Walker, and here we are. Now, when we look at the dude list, Magomed Ankalaev isn't on there. You got Alex Pereira at number 3. These are our favorite fighters and fighters we would put against anybody, right? Alex Pereira beats everybody but John Jones and Khamzat Chimaev. That's what that means. Well, when you go down to the top 20, you don't see Magomed Ankalaev. So this would be a huge upset for the dude list. Make no mistake about it. In terms of the picks, that's where we stand right now. 6 wins, 3 losses. We lost Jordan Santos, lost Ozzy Diaz first fight of the night. Then we went on a 4-fight win streak, lost King Green. Kind of figured that would happen. Jalen Turner, we didn't see that coming. Top 15 guy goes down to Ignacio Bahamondes, but we got the other 6. And, now we're rolling. But it does come down to this fight. We absolutely need Alex Pereira to get the win. And Alex Pereira's in the octagon, and he's just staring down Magomed Ankalaev. And it's the best and worst stare down in all of sports history. Because the way he looks at his opponent, God, it reminds me of a movie, and I can't remember what movie it is. But the way he stares you down is just ridiculous. I mean, Magomed Ankalaev just pacing back and forth, and Pereira just continues to stare him down. Unbelievable. He puts the fear in you before the fight starts. More so than a Conor McGregor with the trash talk. More so than any other fighter in the world. That stare down prior to the fight is definitely a solid tactic to use. Make no mistake about it. So both guys getting introduced now, and this fight will be on. I mean, Pereira getting up there now. He's 37 years old. Ankalaev, 32. That's kind of a big deal. Ankalaev in the prime. Pereira starting late, really after the prime. Getting into the UFC 2 or 3 years ago and just running wild. Just running wild. And as we said in the intro to the podcast tonight, to the watch party, could this be Alex Pereira's last light heavyweight fight? Either way. Right? Remember, he lost to Adesanya by KO for the middleweight title, ended up going up to light heavyweight anyway, and then running through the whole division. So even if he loses, this could be his last fight in the light heavyweight division. Ankalaev still pacing back and forth. You see he's got some nervous energy. Pereira hasn't moved yet, man. He's still just staring down Ankalaev. Woo-wee! Let's get it, y'all. Let's get it. We've been waiting for this. Let's go, Pereira. Do what you got to do, baby. And it stinks he's going up to heavyweight because if they would have fast-tracked Hamza a little bit quicker, Hamza versus Pereira at light heavyweight would be the biggest fight to me in UFC history, assuming Hamza continues to win like we believe he will. But we may never get to see that fight because Pereira will be long gone, which may open up the door for Hamza. So we'll take it. 5 rounds, baby. What's the chances that this thing goes 5 rounds? What's the chances that this whole fight goes and Ankalaev doesn't land a takedown? You would think that's the angle that he would want to take, even though he swears that he's going to stand and strike with Pereira. Both guys with a kickboxing style, too. Magomed Ankalaev from Russia, fighting out of Russia. The guy is 20-1. One draw against Jan Blachowicz. So this is the best prospect we've seen in the light heavyweight division in a long time. And the best contender, arguably, that Alex Pereira has faced so far. UFC even giving Pereira Khalil Roundtree instead of Magomed Ankalaev. Come on, Alex. We need this thing, man. We need it. The only. Let's go, Pereira. Let's go, Pereira. All right, so here we go. Full fight reaction, light heavyweight title on the line. Alex Pereira versus Magomed Ankalaev. It doesn't get any better than this at UFC 313. This is why we're here. This is the main event. Both guys standing at the center of the octagon, staring each other down, and they finally touch gloves. And this thing is about to go down, baby. Oh, boy. Oh, my goodness. Hold your breath, baby. Come on, Pereira. Come on, Pereira. Here we go. Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. And Pereira already trying to march forward. Magomed up and down. He's backed up against the fence already, and he slides to his left. And both guys going to really utilize the same style, their opposite stances. And Pereira already going after the lead leg, the right leg of Ankalaev. And Pereira already fainting with the right leg kick, then taps him with the left. He's already tapped him about 3 or 4 times. So clearly taps him again. Clearly that's the plan early on for Pereira. Take out the lead leg. And you can already see it's presenting a problem. We're only a minute in. And you see this a lot with opposite stance fighters, righty versus lefty. You're going to see some kicks at the leg, and Pereira's doing that effectively. A lot like Dustin Poirier did to Conor McGregor. Now Ankalaev taps back. Both guys with similar technique, too. They're both flat-footed. And they're both trading leg kicks is all that's happening right now. And one of these times when Ankalaev taps that leg, that's when Pereira's going to come across with the right. And this could very easily be a slow-paced fight until something big happens. I mean, that's just what we've seen from Ankalaev in the past. Both guys moving relatively well. Hard to land strikes at this point in time. But as we've seen in the past, fights start like this for Pereira. And then all of a sudden, beam, 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 the fight's over. So at some point, you got to expect Pereira to open up. The problem is with the opposite stances, it's a lot longer to throw that right hand, and you better connect. I have to say, Pereira looks a little bit off balance, like he's trying to figure out Ankalaev. He's whiffed several times on the leg kick. There's a leg kick up top, right leg. Misses on the left leg tap. So he continually misses on that left leg tap. Whoa. Spinning back kick misses by Pereira. But if that would have landed, look out. 1:30 left in round 1. Come on, Pereira. Come on, baby. Come on. We've seen Pereira fight this way, like slow pace. But this plays right into what Ankalaev wants. This is what he wants. He wants a slow pace fight. Wants to draw you in. Lull you to sleep. And try to win by decision. I'd be very surprised if he finishes Pereira. I wouldn't be surprised if Pereira finishes Ankalaev. I would not be surprised if it goes to a decision and Ankalaev gets a win. That can't happen if you're Pereira. And another leg kick by Pereira. He's landed 6 or 7, at least, effectively. He's landed more than that, but effectively. And now Ankalaev drives Pereira back into the fence, and the crowd roars. And I think when you're listening to the fans there, it's kind of like, okay, Pereira's the GOAT right now, but we'd like to see Ankalaev win the fight. No doubt about it. That'll do it for round one. Oh boy. Don't let him kick your front leg is what Ankalaev's corner tells him. No kidding. Easier said than done, right? And they're saying Pereira's much slower than you. I don't think it's that Pereira's slower. I just think he's calculating more. Pereira's got to open up. And it does look like from his corner there's a little bit of concern. Pereira breathing a little harder than we've seen in the past. It's not because this has been a fast-paced first round. It's been a very slow-paced first round. But he's definitely breathing harder than we've seen in the past after round one. He's trying to jump around and get it out. Trying to get that heart rate up. And a lot of big names in the crowd. It's ridiculous. Second round underway. And we'll see if Pereira picks up the pace here. Boy, and a lot of pressure by Ankalaev here. Oh boy. Pereira looking off bounds. Pereira doesn't look right. And Ankalaev switching stances, so that lead leg definitely on his mind. And we'll see if Pereira continues to go after it. Come on, Pereira. You can't be that worried about his power. Come on. Oh, front leg kick by Ankalaev. Shows back Pereira. And another. Oh, goodness. Okay, baby. Okay, Pereira. Come on, fellas. Open up now. Open up. And Pereira not going after that leg anymore. See, I think that's a mistake. It's clearly causing a problem for Ankalaev. We haven't had one leg kick in the first 2 minutes of the round. Oh, big right over the top by Magomed. And Pereira doesn't seem to have the power right now. Where's the power? And there's a leg kick. Okay. And another leg kick. Nice counter by Ankalaev, though. Ankalaev continues to come forward. He's continued to come forward throughout this fight. Especially here in round two. Don't know if Ankalaev is going to win the fight. But what he's doing right now is the way he's got to approach this to win the fight. He's got to slow the pace down. And he definitely has. Oh, big right left by Ankalaev. Pereira backs off. And another left. And it's looking rough right now for Pereira. And there's a leg kick. Got to keep landing the leg kicks. You can clearly see it's causing problems for Ankalaev. Just keep landing the leg kicks. Oh boy. And Ankalaev's opening up. Pereira responds. But he's taking some strikes, man. Ankalaev's got some power, that's for sure. And Pereira's having all types of trouble really just getting in there. I mean, the opposite stance is keeping Ankalaev's head so far back. It's only when he switches righty for a second it looks like Pereira has an opportunity. Like right now. But then he immediately switches back to lefty. And Ankalaev just doing a great job of keeping Alex Pereira off balance. There you go, Pereira. Come on. Leg kicks, baby. Leg kicks. There it is. There it is. Oh. Both guys trading big right hands. Pereira first and Ankalaev with the counter. And the crowd just looking for a reason to go crazy. Hasn't really had much of one right now. There's a tap, round two. Oh! Pereira almost goes down. Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. Oh boy. I counted this as a guaranteed win this year. I counted this as a guaranteed victory. This is not looking good. And you can see in the replays, like, Pereira's got his hands extended, like, almost like you're getting beat and you're protecting yourself. I mean, unreal. So Ankalaev doing a good job right now of keeping Pereira off balance. And I'll tell you, if there's another 15 or 20 seconds in that round, Pereira could have been in a lot of trouble. He could have been in a lot of trouble. All right, so here we go with round number 3. Things are getting interesting, that's for sure. Ankalaev, you can tell just in his body language is feeling it. He feels like he's close. Straight leg kick to start things off, then another leg kick on Pereira. Another leg kick. And another. What's going through Pereira's head? Not as easy as he thought it was going to be. Pereira better get it going in a hurry, man, because he's losing the momentum very quickly, it seems like. And there's a left by Ankalaev. Yeah, nice kick to the body by Pereira. Likely 1-1 going into this third round. 1:15 gone. And suddenly Ankalaev is the favorite once again. It's been going back and forth in the lead up to the fight. Pereira, a slight favorite coming in, but it's been back and forth. And man, we haven't seen Pereira this off balance in any fight yet in the UFC. It's just that simple. Now Pereira with the leg kick, but he's a little off balance here. Stumbles back. And a nice leg kick by Pereira. Here comes Ankalaev looking for the takedown. and Pereira lands an elbow. See, that was a little bit of a mistake by Ankalaev. He got outside himself for a minute, outside the game plan. If you're Ankalaev, you just want to keep doing what you're doing right now. No need for a takedown. I mean, you're competing with Pereira on the feet. This fight is midway over 2:30 left in the third round. And if this thing does go to a decision, we might have to hold our breath for a few seconds because it's not clear right now who's winning this fight. I mean, it's close. And it is kind of interesting. Normally, I'm looking at the stats, and maybe that influences me sometimes. Here we go. Nice knee to the body by Ankalaev. And when you're looking at the stats, it kind of skews how you're looking at this fight. A nice right left by Pereira. Momentum sliding back and forth between these two fighters. 1:30 left, round 3. Okay, Pereira. You can see the power still there. It's just that Pereira's having a hard time figuring out the range of Magomed Ankalaev, who continues to pressure. Just continues to walk forward, lands a right on Pereira, causing a stumble. This is not a good look for Pereira. He looks off balance. Ankalaev is advancing. He's pressuring. Pereira leading this round in significant strikes. He'd very well be up 2-1. I mean, it doesn't feel like it when you watch the fight, but and this has been the problem too. I mean, it was the problem for Ankalaev in the Jan Blachowicz fight. He won that fight when you look at the numbers, but it's not convincing enough. It's slow paced. It's let me get a strike in when I can. But if you want to beat the champ, you're going to have to get more aggressive. And very curious to see what his corner says here. Yeah, so they're all about the counter. They don't want Magomed. See, and that's the thing. And I get it. I understand what the strategy is, but and if you counter and you land a KO, fine. But if you're always on the defensive, waiting for Pereira to go first, Pereira's going to be leading in significant strikes because the counter's not always going to be there. It'll be there, 30, 40% of the time. Because sometimes when you're looking for the counter, you're getting hit in the process, right? And here we go. 4th round, championship rounds. Pereira likely up 2-1, if we had to guess. Big round coming up here. Very important round. Now Ankalaev's going into the body, looking for a potential takedown. He's got control up against the fence here immediately in the beginning of the 4th round. Pereira's got the right arm tied up. Yeah, and Ankalaev looking for that takedown, trying to sweep the leg. Pereira keeps his balance for now. Now Pereira looking to dig the underhooks. He does. And this might be the strategy for Magomed in the final 2 rounds. Ankalaev trying to get the head on the hips, keeping that left arm free and utilizing it. Thing is Ankalaev's doing a good enough job to win this fight. Like, but he's got to be a little more aggressive. And right now, maybe that's what we're seeing. He's being aggressive in terms of pinning Pereira up against the fence. Over a minute of control time now. The fans are beginning to boo. They don't like it. But if you're Ankalaev, you can't worry about that, right? What's going to work for you? He lands a left on the way out. Pereira gets out of it, and then Ankalaev goes right back into the body. And the fans do not like it. But guess what? If you can do this for the next 3 minutes, you win this round. And what do you see with Pereira against other fighters, right? You don't dare come in to close range because that's when he finishes you, right? But Jamal Hill, not a takedown specialist, right? Yuri Prochazka, he's a striker too. These are the guys he's been facing. Khalil Roundtree, he's a striker too. So you get a guy like Magomed Ankalaev who knows how to control his opponents, and why not utilize it? That's why I didn't understand in the lead up to this fight, like Ankalaev saying, I'm going to stand and strike with you. Why? Why? Right now, Ankalaev is showing the strategy that can lead you to victory, and it's straight control. He's now controlled Pereira up against the fence for 2 minutes. Pereira had about 5 or 10 seconds where he got out of it for a minute. Ankalaev went right back in, and Pereira has no answer. Oh, and the ref's going to break him up. Interesting. Forces these guys back into the stand-up. And Ankalaev lands a left. And if you're Ankalaev, why not go right back into it? Try to wear down Pereira for the 5th. And Ankalaev still is the one pressure. Yeah, if you're Ankalaev, you should be shooting again. I mean, Pereira looks tired from having to defend that. And here we go again. And the crowd does not have to like it. And I'll tell you what, if Ankalaev can do this, there's now 1:15 left in round 4. If he can do this for the next 6 minutes, he's going to win the title. That's the bottom line. Is I don't care what the people in the crowd say. I don't care if the ref breaks us up. I'm going right back in for it. And we've seen fighters do this and then go into a decisive round and just abandon the takedown. Why? And as much as I want to see a finish, we're getting closer and closer to a moment where we got to sit through a decision and wait and hear who won this fight. Will it be and new or and still? 30 seconds left in round 4. And a nice upper there by Ankalaev. Come on, Pereira, you got to do something, baby. He's fading. And this is wearing out Pereira. This is not what Pereira wants to be doing, right? You know, when you're coming off wins over 4 strikers and he throws down Ankalaev at the bell, but that was after 5 minutes of control by Ankalaev, who most definitely won that round. So we're looking at probably 2-2. And Pereira looks tired. Pereira facing 4 straight strikers, right? So how much has he really worked on the takedown game or takedown defense? You know, if you're Ankalaev, why do you want to stand and strike with Pereira if it's really close or you're not gaining the advantage when you know you can pin him up against the fence and grind down a victory? And that's what he finally did here in round number 4, setting up a very, very interesting round number 5 as both guys sit in the corner getting instruction from their coaches. All right, both fighters back to their feet. Here we go. Decisive round 5. Likely 2-2. Light heavyweight title on the line. We have not seen Alex Pereira in deep waters like this in a light heavyweight fight. This is the first. As his 5th round begins, we'll see if Ankalaev wants to go back into grappling and trying to control Pereira against the fence. Ankalaev now nearly a 4-1 favorite. Oh, and a big right by Ankalaev. But Pereira has answered the last 2 times, right? I mean, or at least in the 3rd round he answered. He's going to have to answer here again in the 5th round to keep this belt. But clearly everyone in the world right now has to recognize that this is the best contender that Pereira has faced, at least in a light heavyweight division. And you're talking about Yuri Prochazka, Jamal Hill, Khalil Roundtree, who gained a lot of respect in that last fight. Also, Pereira's 37 years old. How much does that factor in? Right? As you approach 40, you're going to slow down. You're not going to be the same fighter. And Ankalaev has not tried to shoot him for a takedown or any type of control. Now he's content with striking again. Is that a good idea? I don't know. 3:20 left in the fight. And you can see Pereira starting to feel the pressure of the moment. I mean, it's got to be very tough for a guy like Pereira who's used to, either A, getting the finish, which he does 90% of the time, or B, getting finished. He's not used to going the 5 rounds and going to the judges' scorecards and having to sweat it out. So he's starting to get a little jittery now, and he's picking up the pace. Crowd's loving it as he lands a leg kick. Now it's Pereira coming forward. And it's hard to believe that Ankalaev is not trying to control this round like he did in round 4. There'll be a lot of questions on that, including from myself. How do you control Pereira for 5 straight minutes in the 4th to wear him down and then not go back to it in what could be a decisive round? Or maybe he's up 3-1. I don't know. But likely it's 2-2. Ankalaev continues to come forward. He's been the one coming forward throughout this fight. Oh, nice jab by Pereira. Now a leg kick up high. And now Ankalaev goes back in looking for the takedown. Pereira doesn't let him have it. And Pereira walks back, putting his back up against the fence. 1:15 left, fans booing because you're just getting ready to see some big striking from both guys. And Pereira trying to break those arms. But right now, Pereira landing the bigger strikes throughout this round. There's 1 minute left. Ankalaev's trying to control him up against the fence. And this is what's going to make the fans upset, because this is the point in the fight where you want to see 2 guys trying to win the title, stand in the center of the octagon and trade. And if Ankalaev would have done this from the beginning of the round, it could have been huge. I don't know how much credit he'll get here for the last 1:15. Pereira desperately trying to get out. And he does. He spins, putting his back up against the fence. And Pereira wants nothing more than to get out of this and start throwing. But Ankalaev's not going to let him. 25 seconds left. And we get a look round by round. Pereira led in 4 of the 5 rounds. insignificant strikes. But round 4 won't matter. So I'm still saying it's 2-2. A lot of people online are saying 3-1 Ankalaev. I'm saying it's 2-2. And I think Pereira did enough to get it in round 5 here because he landed the bigger strikes. And I think if I had to guess, okay, and when it comes to the judges, you never know, right? You just never know. But if I had to guess, I'm saying Alex Pereira wins this fight 3-2. And it did not look good at all. I mean, this would be, you're talking about squeaking out a victory. But I think he did just enough in round 5 to get the win. And we're getting a look at replays and big points in this fight. And it was Pereira starting out with the leg kicks. Then Ankalaev coming back in round 2, looking dominant. Then round 3, Pereira came back. Then round 4, Ankalaev decided to go to the grappling and control time. He never did land a takedown. Pereira defended all 10. You don't usually get credit for that. But Pereira defended all 10 takedown attempts. So at the end of this fight, you got Ankalaev as the favorite. But very close. And I guess even now you can still, do something, right? And boy, this is going to be a very, very interesting decision. Oh my goodness. And both fighters getting ready to come to the center of the octagon. Yeah, it always comes down to the worst round. And I don't. Okay, so I think Pereira won round. I don't know. I don't know. Either round 3 or round 5 was the weakest round. They're saying round 3 is the make or break round for Pereira. I'm saying round 5. I think he came back well in round 3. But as a lot of people were saying online, 3-1 Ankalaev going into the 5th. That means people are saying that Ankalaev won round 3. So maybe that is the close round. So it is taking a while here. And here we go. And Dana White already knows the result. And he kind of smiled and then took the smile off. So I don't even know what that means. But we'll definitely comment tomorrow on the podcast for sure. We'll find out from Dana White what he has to say in a little bit. Here we go. Here we go. Oh my God. 49, 46, 48, 47, 48, 47. Oh my gosh. It's going to be Ankalaev. And no! Wow! Wow! Alex Pereira cannot believe it. And that's why Dana White smirked. Now we know. Unbelievable because of all the stuff that Dana White said in the past, especially after the tie against Jan Blachowicz. Magomed Ankalaev gets one judge 4-1. That's ridiculous. I couldn't see it being any more than 48-47. But listen, we have a new light heavyweight champion, and his name is Magomed Ankalaev. And Russia is going crazy right now. That's the bottom line. So Magomed Ankalaev is going to walk away with the belt here in the main event at UFC 313. So we'll be back tomorrow with the reaction show. Let us know what you think. Leave some comments on some of these videos. We will read them tomorrow on the podcast. But what a night it was. Magomed Ankalaev and new UFC light heavyweight champion. Until next time, this is your boy Chris Cross. Have a great day and God bless. As always, peace.